So the iPhone 15 lineup has been out for about a month now, and during that time, I've been able to test out a bunch of different accessories. So in this video, what I want to do is talk about my top 15 accessories for the iPhone 15 lineup. So without further ado, let's get right into this video, but first, a quick word from our channel sponsor, Totally. 9 to 5 Mac is brought to you by Totally Case, the ultra-thin and minimal iPhone case now available for the iPhone 15 lineup of phones. Totally Case has been proudly offering an ultra-thin iPhone case option for people, like myself, that don't want to sacrifice the feel of the iPhone with a thick, bulky case, but still want to be protected against scuffs, scratches, and also have some sort of drop protection. Their super thin case has been precision made to fit your iPhone perfectly. It wraps around those new curved edges and still allows you to feel the form factor of this new iPhone. It has cutouts for the lock button, the volume rocker, as well as the new action button. Again, it was made to let you enjoy your iPhone as it was intended while still protecting it against those pesky keys in your pocket. And then they have their new clear grip case, which, as the name entails, is a much grippier and robust case. The case is more rigid, with the backplate and side railings being extremely firm. They also decided to cover all the buttons with this very nice tactile button to interact with the volume buttons as well as the new action button. And lastly, that MagSafe ring adds even more strength so you can use MagSafe accessories with peace of mind. Both models have a MagSafe and a non-MagSafe version of the cases and are readily available to order today. Click the first link below to find out more and support both 9 to 5 Mac and Totally. Thank you to Totally for partnering up with 9 to 5 Mac in this video. So now we got the first item out of the way out of 15, and that is the Totally case, which I absolutely love. And I will mention that every single item in this video will be linked down in the description below in order of it actually being spoken about. But for item number 2, or this category of items, is going to be all about powering your iPhone 15. So for an actual charging station, I want to give 2 different alternatives. So item number 2 on this list is Zera's X55 3-in-1 travel charger. So I love this thing because of the fact that it folds up into one small compact package. Not only that, but it does bring its own carrying case, it brings a USB-C cable, and it also brings a 30-watt power brick included in, I believe, the $60 price. So this is a perfect on-the-go kind of charging solution or charging station, especially if you're somebody that has an Apple Watch, AirPods Pro, and your iPhone, because it is MagSafe compatible, but this one does output up to 22 watts of power throughout the entire device. So you get up to 10 watts of output on the MagSafe charger, you get 5 watts on the AirPods Pro charger, and then you get your 2.5 watts on the actual Apple Watch charger. So it's not a fast Apple Watch charger, but still is great for an overnight trip if you do want to use it maybe in a hotel or bring it with you on whatever trip you're going on. So that is my favorite travel solution because not only does it extend all the way out and it sits flat, but it also has a prop-up Apple Watch charger, so you don't have to kind of take off a solo loop if you need to use that. And then also, it is also a stand when need be, so you can still use standby mode on the go. So that is my travel kind of charging station of choice. But now if you want something a little bit more kind of robust or something that's kind of going to sit on your nightstand or sit on your desk, so this next one is the M01 3-in-1 charging station, or technically a 4-in-1 charging station. So what I like about this is that it's still pretty portable because it can lay flat if you need it to. It does bring a USB-C cable in the box, but no actual power brick. That's just something to take into account. And this does sit at around $109 to $110, but it's got a lot going for it. So it does give you that 15 watts of power for the MagSafe charger on the actual iPhone. You also get an AirPods Pro charger and an Apple Watch charger. One of my little gripes is that it isn't a prop-up charger itself, which is something that a lot of people might complain about if you are using something like a solo loop or maybe a metallic band, but you can easily take that off if need be and lay it flat. But also it stands up perfectly to support that standby mode, and you also have a USB-C out, so you can charge up to a 4th device with up to 10 watts of power if you have the correct power brick. And lastly, they add a nice little kind of night light, which gives you 3 different modes of warmth color. So if you do like to actually have a little night light on your desk, you can do that as well, or you can completely shut it off. So that is the M01 by a company called Aulumu, I believe, and again, it'll be linked down below. So to continue on with this power category, I now want to switch to kind of MagSafe power banks and MagSafe batteries. I'm going to give you guys 2 options here as well. So the first one is a smaller, more compact, a little bit more sleek looking MagSafe battery pack by a company called Moft, but this is their vegan leather MagSafe battery pack, and I love this because of how it feels, how it looks. It's very compact, it's easy to use. It is a little bit smaller, I believe at 3,000 milliamp hours, so it won't charge your iPhone all the way to 100%, but it's great for a trickle charge if you're in a little bit of a pinch, and it does charge up to 5 watts in terms of speed. So that is something to consider. It is very small, very compact, and easy to use. And I absolutely love the aesthetic. And now if you need something a little bit more robust when it comes to a MagSafe battery pack, this is by a company called Baseus. This is their 10,000 milliamp hour MagSafe battery pack. And what I like about this is that it gives you multiple options. So the first option is obviously slapping it onto the back of the iPhone. You're charging at 7.5 watts and you're getting that trickle charge. But also there's a built-in USB-C port in there which you'd actually plug directly into the iPhone to get up to the 30 watts of max kind of wired in charging, because it does support up to 30 watts. So you can charge your iPhone up to 4 times faster directly plugged in to that MagSafe battery pack. And then it also has a USB in and a USB out, which supports up to another 15 watts of output if you do want to charge maybe a secondary device. Maybe you have to charge your AirPods Pro and something like that. So this is another alternative. This one's 10,000 milliamp hours. So if you need something for maybe a couple of days, for a camping trip, for an overnight trip, this could be the way to go. Again, a little bit bigger compared to the last MagSafe battery pack, but for good reason. And now a few more products in this power category. Again, I'm trying to give you accessories that would work in different situations. So this next one is by a company called Plugable. I know that there's a lot of companies that now have this smaller GAN charger, which is a 30-watt brick, which is tiny, kind of the same size as what those 5-watt charging bricks used to look like from Apple directly. But this one is by Plugable. I've been using their brand for a long time for different accessories. It works exactly as intended, so this is an option for you if you do want to pick one up. Again, 30 watts, a single USB-C port will charge or fast charge your iPhone very simply. And then I also have a car charging solution, also by a company called Baseus. It does output up to 30 watts. And what I like about this one is that the actual USB-C cable is retractable. So you can pull it out to, I believe, up to 6 feet. And then when you're done with it, you can kind of yank it a little bit and it'll retract all the way back in. This is perfect if you want to keep it hidden away so you don't have like a loose cable just hanging around in your car when you don't need it. But when you do, you just pull it out and actually be able to start to use it. And then in that same light, an actual USB-C cable, which supports actually up to 100 watts PD charging, which is a little bit overkill for an iPhone, but it can be multifaceted depending on what you're going to use it with. But this is the same kind of idea. So Baseus is kind of pushing this retractable kind of technology for their wires and for their USB-C cables. So this is the same thing. So it's a 100 watt PD charger. It's retractable on both ends to, I believe, up to 10 feet when you kind of pull them all the way out together. And then also it is a data cable, which supports up to 500 megabytes of data pass through. So that is also by Baseus, a nice little kind of accessory, maybe even a stocking stuffer for the holidays as well. Okay, so now let's get into some other MagSafe accessories that aren't in the power department. So this is just kind of the MagSafe accessory category. And the first one I want to talk about is the stand by a company called Aulumu, which is the same company that makes that 4-in-1 charging station, which I mentioned earlier. So this one is one of the cooler ones, or more unique kind of MagSafe accessories, because it's not a battery, it's not a charger, it's not a wallet, but it's an actual stand, but it's technically a 4-in-1. So hear me out on this one. It is a very well made, it's made out of complete metal, very high quality, it's nice and heavy, but not so heavy that it weighs on your iPhone, but it's also ultra slim. So you put it on the back of the iPhone and it has a little kickstand arm, so you can kind of view your iPhone in portrait mode, in landscape mode, but then you can also kind of kick it out and use it as a little holder. So it kind of has the same purpose as one of those pop sockets from back in the day, which I think are still being made. But then lastly, it has a hidden actual little box cutter inside of it. Now I know what you might be thinking, having a box cutter as a MagSafe accessory could be a little bit dangerous, but it is made out of ceramic, so it isn't metal or isn't sharp metal like that. And it only comes out to 3 millimeters. So it's just long enough to maybe cut some tape, to open up a box, open up a letter. It is very sharp and it works extremely well. And not only that, it is fully retractable. So the only way to bring it out is if you hold it out with your thumb, because once you let it go, it is spring loaded, so it does kind of come back in. So it will never hang out of that actual arm by itself. You actually have to be physically and actively holding it out, because if not, the spring will bring it right back in and it'll retract it right back in there. So I think this is a great solution, and I've been using this as my box cutter since I got it about 2-3 weeks ago, and it works great for exactly that. And again, it acts as a stand both in horizontal and in landscape mode. Great stocking stuffer, great accessory, and the magnets are just extremely strong. And then of course I have to mention a MagSafe wallet, and this one's also by Aulumu. And what I like about this is that it's multifunctional, and I'm a big proponent or a big advocate of having accessories that do more than just one thing, and this one does exactly that. So it is a bifold wallet technically, even though it doesn't fit any actual dollar bills, but the reason it's bifold is because it acts as a stand for your iPhone as well. The hinge is extremely sturdy, it kind of extends as far as you want it to, all the way to 180 degrees, and the hinge is very strong, so wherever angle you put it at, it's going to stay at that angle. It gives you 3 different viewing angles. You can prop it up in landscape, portrait, and then also TV mode, where it kind of lifts it up in landscape mode a little bit higher, so you can kind of get a better viewing angle. But then also, like I mentioned, it is a MagSafe wallet. On the inside, it's got this window, so you can kind of display your ID if you need to, or whatever other card that you do want to display. It fits up to 3 cards, it says. I fit up to 4 if they are of the non-metallic card kind. And what I like about this is that a lot of these companies that make these stands, because you can get something very similar on Amazon from a no-name brand, but they added this little rigid lip on the top of it, because let's say you do stuff 4 cards in there over time, and then you go back to only having 3 cards, those cards are now going to start to slip out if you hold it upside down. This, with this little ridge that they added on there, it does kind of keep the cards in there no matter how many cards you have. So if you only have 1 or 2 cards, you don't have to worry about them falling out if you have it upside down in any situations. So a nice little quality of life kind of improvement on these types of wallets, and it's very simple and very small, but very useful because that little ridge is rigid, for lack of a better term, and kind of stays in place to make sure that your card doesn't go anywhere. And now let's go back to Moft, the same company that made that MagSafe battery pack. They now have this like on-the-go, very flat origami style stand that you can use with your iPhone. So this isn't just your typical stand where you just prop it up to watch a Netflix movie, or prop it up to just scroll on TikTok in landscape mode or portrait mode. This one is actually more of a tripod, right? It's supposed to be multi-purpose. It actually extends your iPhone up a little bit higher. It gives you pretty much any viewing angle you want. You can use it as a stand for your iPhone to take pictures, to kind of view something from a distance, be in standby mode. I just like how this is very multifaceted. It's a great way to kind of elevate your iPhone a little bit more, but then also it stays very flat on the rear of your iPhone, so whenever you're done with it, you don't have to worry about it. I do wish maybe they added like a little bit of a wallet component into this, so I can use this as my main wallet as well as kind of like this active tripod stand, but I still think this is a great idea, and it's just so well made with this beautiful vegan leather, very sturdy. I thought, after a while it'd get flimsy, but no. So far so good. It's been amazing over the last month of me using it. So now let's get into some of these USB-C accessories, because this is the first year Apple is giving us a USB-C port on the iPhone 15 lineup. Obviously, the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus have the regular 2.0 speeds, and then the iPhone Pro and Pro Max do support much faster data transfer speeds with that Gen 3 support, which is amazing to see. So obviously that's going to open up a lot of doors to some additional accessories that Lightning was holding us back from. So the first one I'm always going to recommend people get, especially if you're on the Pro side and you're using your iPhone to take multiple pictures and videos and you want to store them, or maybe even have a video go directly into this SSD, it is a T7 Shield by Samsung. I have the 500GB version. They make up to, I believe, 2 terabytes now at this point. But technically, if you're shooting into the highest video setting and you have one of these plugged in directly in with a Thunderbolt cable, it will actually, without a drop frame, be able to record directly to this SSD. So it will never live on your iPhone. You can record like a 1-hour clip in 4K 60, and it'll go directly into this SSD, and it won't take up any storage on your iPhone, which for me, for somebody that uses their iPhone as their main form of videography, this is an absolute game changer, which I absolutely love. And that same USB-C port is going to open up the door to USB-C dongles and USB-C hubs. So the one that I currently like to use with my iPhone is the Explorer Edition 6-in-1 by a company called Dockcase. And what I like about this one is that it gives you a little bit more than just being a hub. So first off, yes, it is a 6-in-1. So it gives you 2 USB-A 3.2 ports, which gives you the fastest transfer speeds. It also gives you another USB-C 3.2 port for the same type of transfer speeds. It's got an HDMI port, which supports up to 4K 60. You even have an Ethernet port, which supports up to 1 GB of speed. And then also you have your power pass-through, which supports up to, I believe, 87 watts of power pass-through, which again is more than enough for something like an iPhone. But the cherry on top with this dock case is that it has a little display on here, which actually gives you live and real-time diagnostics. So let's say you are using this that is plugged into power, and then it's plugged into your iPhone, and then you have it plugged into an SSD, you'll be able to see how much power is going to the iPhone in real time. And then let's say you are recording in ProRAW and you're going directly to the SSD, it'll tell you exactly how fast and how much data is moving into that SSD, again, in real time. So a little bit on the nerdier side, but I absolutely love this dock case. They also have a 10-in-1, which is a little bit more robust, but I use that more with the iPad Pro and a MacBook Air. And I did want to include this kind of more unique item for your iPhone. It can work with pretty much any device that has Bluetooth, so it can work with your laptop, your iPhone, your iPad, but this is the folding keyboard by a company called Protract. I reviewed their mouse recently, and I absolutely love their mouse. And I just really like this keyboard. It's compact, it folds into a much smaller kind of footprint that you can bring with your bag. So let's say you're in a situation where you just have your iPhone, maybe you have that Aulumu wallet that is a stand, you can have it in TV mode, and then you can just type away and take as many notes as you want, or write an essay or edit something. Because this keyboard does connect with up to 3 different devices, so the iPhone can be one of them. Like I mentioned earlier, it folds up nice and compactly. It's a chiclet style keyboard, it's light, it's well built. Those hinges, I've moved them up and down and all over the place, and they're very strong. It auto connects directly to your iPhone or your most recent Bluetooth connection. So I just absolutely love it. I had to include it in here if you guys do want to check it out. And then lastly, I did want to include some audio options. The first one I got to mention is obviously AirPods Pro. They're very easy to use. They connect automatically. They're getting more and more updates over time, like that adaptive noise cancellation, conversation boost, and all that good stuff. So that is to each their own. It's very easy to use if you want to stay in the Apple ecosystem. But then also, I did want to mention a pair of over-ear headphones that just came out, the Bose QC Ultras. Very comfortable, very easy to use. The Bose app is very robust. Noise cancellation, in my opinion, they're pioneers in it, and it's fully unmatched. They do have this new immersion mode, so it's very similar to spatial audio, and you can be immersive in a fixed position or in a mobile position. But these QC Ultras in this sandstone colorway is absolutely unreal, and it's just so light and a pleasure to use. I've used them for like 6-hour sessions, and my ears don't get hot. I don't get that weird pain on the top of my head which some other headphones used to give me. So again, these are $420 or $430. They are brand new, but they're an amazing product that works well with your iPhone. And that will just about do it for this video, everybody. That should be about 15, maybe even 16 different items that you could use with your iPhone. Some are more specialized, some are more made for the iPhone, but some of them, because of USB-C, it just kind of opens up the door to be used with the iPhone now, like that Bluetooth keyboard, or like these dongles, or like this SSD. So if you guys do want to check out any of these, I will link them down below like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Definitely check out Totally if you want a very slim kind of iPhone case that lets you still feel what the iPhone feels like. Definitely check them out. So overall, let me know with a comment down below what your favorite accessory was. Obviously, you don't need to have these items, but they are nice to haves. And maybe there's one or two items that really stuck out with you that will kind of complete your iPhone accessory workflow, or your everyday carry for that matter. But if you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And if you guys want to watch more iOS, iPadOS, or macOS content, click on one of these videos right here. We have an iPhone 15 and an iPhone 15 Pro Max long-term review coming out, so definitely stay subscribed for that. But that's going to do it. I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here, everybody. Peace. 9 to 5 Mac is brought to you by Totally Case, the ultra-thin and minimal iPhone case now available from the iPhone 15 lineup of phones. Totally Case has been proudly offering an ultra-thin iPhone case option for people, like myself, that don't want to sacrifice the feel of the iPhone with a thick, bulky case, but still want to be protected against scuffs, scratches, and also have some sort of drop protection. Their super thin case has been precision made to fit your iPhone perfectly. It wraps around those new curved edges and still allows you to feel the form factor of this new iPhone. It has cutouts for the lock button, the volume rocker, as well as the new action button. Again, it was made to let you enjoy your iPhone as it was intended while still protecting it against those pesky keys in your pocket. It comes in 8 different colors, so there's a color for everyone. I personally prefer the frosted clear one. And then they have their new clear grip case, which, as the name entails, is a much grippier and robust case. The case is more rigid, with the backplate and side railings being extremely firm. They also decided to cover all the buttons with this very nice tactile button to interact with the volume buttons as well as the new action button. And lastly, that MagSafe ring adds even more strength so you can use MagSafe accessories with peace of mind. Both models have a MagSafe and a non-MagSafe version of the cases and are readily available to order today. Click the first link below to find out more and support both 9 to 5 Mac and Totally. Thank you to Totally for partnering up with 9 to 5 Mac in this video.